So first, my condolences goes out to you, Kiera, and you, Tasha, for your loss. It's a very, I feel like these things, they make opportunities to bring awareness to, so that maybe this won't happen again. I'm sad that that awareness hasn't prevented this tragedy for falling on Mr. Burks. But can you? I'll start with you, Kiera. Can you tell me a little about your father? Like, what did he like to do? Like, what made him smile? Like, like, tell me a little about him.
He loved to cook. He loved taking care of kids, fishing. He loved being around family, taking trips. Those were some of the things that he really enjoyed.
And Tasha, I don't know if I'll just come back to Tasha when her audio is on. But so you also have kids, so he's a grandfather.
Yes.
Yeah. So he must love his grandkids, I'm sure.
Yes, he actually didn't get to meet my daughter. He passed 2 weeks before she was born.
Oh, wow.
So, but my son, they had a great relationship. He loved being a grandpa. Yeah, they had the best relationship.
So I know you say you like to cook, and now he had an investment property. So like how important was it for him to have that as a business, to be able to have like a property and be able to renovate it and get that as a, like how much was he invested in his investment property? I guess.
Yeah, that was a lot to him. It was a very big accomplishment for him. He worked very hard to get those properties and to maintain them as well. So that was definitely something big for him.
Yeah. And I hear, I know it's been almost 45 days when he'll be buried this weekend since his death. Can you tell us why? Like, what's taking so long for the burial? Does this have to do with the investigation or anything?
Yeah, just the investigation, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. I wonder, we've come out of a year of a lot of awareness last year with the deaths, the murders of Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd. They rung loud through the world and definitely through America. Like, do you remember how Quantez felt about that? Do you remember him saying anything about those tragedies?
I mean, not particularly, but he definitely, just overall, he definitely didn't agree, obviously, with those types of things that were going on, and it definitely made him feel some type of way. It kind of hits home for all of us, especially being part of the African American community. So.
And I didn't mean to interrupt you, Kiera, but Tasha and them had shared with me, he also was one of the first to protest in the Beckley, West Virginia area and do the march for the George Floyd.
Yep. Him and Tasha were definitely out there, the first ones starting that protest there in where they live.
And he actually had a conversation with his mother and said he had to do it because that could have been him.
I know,
and here we are today.
Yeah, I know this tragedy is like personal to you guys. Like, we could never feel it like you and Tasha and his immediate family. But how do you feel like sharing his story now with the world? Like, I mean, like people are starting to find out about what happened and starting to ask questions. I know it's not, like a benefit. It's not something to get clout about, but I mean, like, how does it feel like that now, like, his story, like, he's becoming, he's becoming his own movement. You know, he might be a movement. Like, I mean, how does that feel for you as somebody personally? I never got to talk to, you know, like somebody that personal, that close to Mr. Floyd or Mr. Arbery, but like, how does it feel as a family to have your family member in national news?
It's hard. It's unbelievable. Like I never thought it would be me like in this situation. I never thought it would hit this close to home. Like I was out there, you know, protesting and marching for George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, and now here I am having to do this for my own father. So it's like I can't even really find words to describe it. Like the feeling is just, it's out of this world.
And Kiera, if you don't mind if I add, the difference with Quantez's case is that this is the new 21st century Emmett Till murder.
Mm-hmm.
He was tormentedly, brutally murdered in every physical way.
Yeah, I know the family, I know that there was an autopsy done by the correctional institution, and then there's been, I believe the family ordered their own private autopsy. Yeah.
Correct.
So were any of the, well, I don't know if that's suggested that we would talk about the differences in that. That might be something that your lawyer might be like, want to keep close to chest, but it's like, I mean, I've heard stuff that happened, but I don't want to make, you relive that part. I just really want to talk about, him and being this entrepreneur and him, and maybe if you know anything about the situation that happened with the tenant, or what are they like how did you find out what happened to your father?
I actually got the call from Tasha, my stepmother. I got the call from her letting me know what happened. She broke the news to me. And regarding the tenant, I don't really know too much details about that. Like I live in a different state than he did, so I wasn't really there all the time. So I don't really know the exact details on that because I wasn't there.
Up to see Tasha's trying to join back in. So you say he liked to fish and he liked to cook. What was like some of the best meals that he could prepare? Like, what was his thing?
He loved to cook on the grill. His best was ribs. Everyone loves his ribs on the grill. Yeah. Spaghetti was one of his favorite foods, so that was great too.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to give some information out because I know that you guys have a GoFundMe and stuff for to raise for the costs of his funeral, burial, and everything else. And I'm gonna put that on the bottom of the screen when this posts. But hopefully, people will become more aware of this story. But I mean, Miss Love said that he was brutally beaten. This is the modern day Emmett Till. Like how big was your father? Was he like The Rock, or was he like
he was a shorter man, but he was pretty bulky, so he was a decent size.
Yeah.
About 216, 217.
Yeah.
5'8".
Yeah. So he wasn't Superman. It wasn't necessary.
Right. He wasn't a really big man. No.
Yeah. All right. Hi, Miss Tasha. How you doing?
Hello. I can hear and I can see y'all now.
Hey, baby. Jamal, I have to say, in speaking with Tasha and bonding with the family, one of the most ironic things that Tasha shared with me was the fact, she was with Quan for 22 years. And so they basically grew up together from teenagers to adulthood. And she went on to tell me stories about how they renovated the homes together. But the most important thing she said to me was, he taught her how not to have to depend on another man. Tasha, can you elaborate on that? Because that's kind of ironic for a fiance to teach their lady how not to need another man.
He did. We worked on everything together. I Google it. He'll Google it. He didn't need he could cook, clean. He didn't need no woman for nothing. I could take out the trash. I could work on the house. I could work on my car. I don't need no man for nothing. He did.
You tell me how y'all met?
Yeah. My mom and his mom was friends, and he was coming to get his mom from my house, and we seen each other, and I was like, sad.
Kiera and Love was telling me a little about the last year where the social movements was happening with George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor, that you guys were, protested in Beckley. And
we did. We started in front of the police department, and it seemed like we wasn't getting enough attention, so we moved down to the next corner, and we did. Got sunburnt, hoarse voices. I was 2 shades darker. Quan was burnt, peeling, everything. We did. Or we had our nieces and nephews out there.
Yeah,
we did.
And Tasha, you said that Kiera also said that he loved kids, and you have also stated that you always had someone's kids.
We did. We did, always.
Well,
no matter what.
He was also he was also a pet lover.
A pet lover.
Oh yeah.
Right here, and the fish. Speaking of dogs, we might be having some more. But yep, he was. He liked the fish. He liked the grill. He liked the rap. He couldn't dance, but he liked to.
He would try.
He liked to. He did. He does.
Tell me a little about this investment property, that these renovations that y'all now had tenants in. Like how many projects did y'all have like that, and what's the show?
Well, we basically had to start from the bottom with the house because it was a hot mess. Express. It was yucky. So we just cleaned it out. I cleaned it a little bit until I seen a rat this big, and let him do that. Then we, put the walls, the dry walls. Well, he had people doing that, and then he rented it out. It took about 6 months, but he did it. We did it. We did it.
Middle of this pandemic, y'all found a new profession, I suppose.
I still work. No, I still worked.
Oh, okay.
I still work. I'm still working. Yeah.
I mean, how did you, when he was locked up, like, how did you find out what happened? Like, how was it relayed to you?
Okay, I had just left him. I was on my way to work, and I got a phone call that he was being arrested, and I was having car trouble, and she wouldn't start. So his mom was calling me the whole time. And I'm like, I'm trying to get there. I couldn't get there. She called me back like, well, they took him. He's going to jail. I went to try to start my car again, and it started. I called like around 4 o'clock because I was giving him some time to, process him, whatever. It was about the latest 1:30. I was giving them time to process them. I called them. They told me to call back I called at 4. They told me to call back at 7 because the magistrate wasn't out and one would be in. I called maybe between 7:30, 8 o'clock. They said he was too intoxicated, so they took him straight to jail. He called me, but he didn't stay on the phone long enough so I can add the money on there. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right, how the hell? I wasn't thinking just go online to add money, which I ended up doing like an hour later. He didn't call that night. The next morning, he called like at 9. And he asked me, was I getting them out and stuff? I was going to get the paper. We talked about our little drama, and that was it. I finished my class. I pulled up home. I was talking to his mom. I was like, well, I'm about to call and see what his bond was. I called. I need to know what's Quantez Burks' bond. The lady snickered. I'm sorry. He passed last night around 9 o'clock due to a heart attack. So I start flipping out, and I'm not thinking. I just talked to this man 9 o'clock this morning. So I threw my phone. So I jumped up like, I can't. He not dead. I just talked to him. I just talked to him this morning. So then I start looking for my phone. Then they call back like maybe 5 minutes later or whatever. It's talking about, well, we got our times wrong or something. Yes, the time was wrong or something. It was happening between 10 and 10:30. And that's how I knew, how we found out, calling to get his bond.
It's so terrible to read some of the things that, you know, happened to him. And it's definitely hard, like, sitting here talking to you guys in the middle of your grief. And I hate to even do this, but I mean, like, with people feeling what y'all feel, you know, people will get behind this and bring more awareness to this situation, because, you know, they, you know, the government likes to sweep arrest related deaths under the rug, you know, it happens far too often. It happens, you know, way more than it gets publicized. A lot of stories we'll never even, you know, we'll never know about. But I believe this story is something that people are gonna feel. And from Ms. Love describing it as a modern day Emmett Till, the things that happened to him, it's just something that I can't. I feel like
It don't make no sense. Don't nobody deserve to be beat like that, even if he was being combative. He was supposed to be in the cell. Why did you go in there? What was your reason for going in there? His tongue couldn't have been that wicked for you to make you want to come and do anything to him. Y'all supposed to be trained properly, right?
You hadn't been too long left him. He hadn't been drinking. He wasn't intoxicated.
No, that's not even his. That's an older mugshot. That's not even his face. It's his face, but that's not him in there. When I left him, he was gray. He was about 65% gray. He ain't have no marks on his head. His face wasn't swollen. He was fine.
Kiera, if your dad was here, what would you say to him?
I'll just tell him I love him. I don't know. I don't know. I have a lot I would want to say.
Can you tell me a little about Beckley, West Virginia, Kiera? Like, I know you don't live there right now, but can you tell me like the demographics of, is this like a you know, a predominantly Black, predominantly white? Like, what's is it diverse? Like, what kind of neighborhood is?
I mean, I think Tasha could probably answer that better, because I haven't really lived there like she has.
Yeah, I think we lost Tasha though. I think she's her.
Oh, is she?
Tasha?
I can hear y'all a little bit. It's going in and out.
Okay, Tasha, can you tell us a little about Beckley, West Virginia? Like the type of community that?
I mean,
Well, was Kiera, was your father born in West Virginia? Was he born there?
What was that?
Was he born in Beckley? Is that where he was born and raised?
He lived in Columbus for, I believe, I think up until like middle school, I want to say. And then he moved to Beckley.
Okay.
But we've always had family in Beckley, so he's always been kind of back and forth.
Okay. Well, is all right. So we know that he like pets. You know, he like to cook and he like to fish. Like, can you just tell me about one time that you might have fished with him or something like that before we go? Like, just tell us like just a story.
I'm scared of fish, so I would never fish. I would just sit and watch because I'm too scared to touch anything.
What was your favorite moment with your dad? Or your proudest?
Just like he was there for all my biggest moments, all the most important times in my life. He was always there. I went through a major surgery, and when I woke up, he was right there. He was right there. My high school graduation, he was there. Moving into college, he was there. He was always there for my biggest moments. He was always there with the biggest smile on his face, cheering me on. He was always so proud of me, and he always bragged on me. Yeah.
So if you don't mind me asking, Jamal, so with what these corrupt individuals did to your father, what do you want to see done?
I want them to go to prison for the rest of their lives. Like, nothing can bring him back, but I just want them to get the punishment they deserve for this. There's nothing that can really be done that will amount to what they did to him, but they need to spend the rest of their life behind bars. They should not be walking free.
Well, I think everybody, once they get to know more about the story, there's going to be a lot of people that's going to put pressure on the system to not sweep this under the rug, not let this one go. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that we can't be held accountable for things that happen while we're detained by cops, but we're not gonna let this one go. This story has moved me. You know, I was moved to tears yesterday when I was reading through some of the articles and some of the things that was being said, and it's what, you know, my heart's going out to you guys. And
Thank you.
You know, I spend my time interviewing a lot of celebrities and everything else, but I feel like I think y'all helping me fulfill my real purpose, which is to bring these type of stories to like shine a light for these unheard stories that need to be told. And I'm hoping that my audience will support that and support you guys on your GoFundMe, and just get behind doing everything from calling the correctional facility, calling the state legislatures to putting pressure on this story so it doesn't go away. Because if we do that, then we won't let him die in vain. And we'll make sure that somebody's held accountable, and that his daughter and his grandchildren and his beautiful fiance will, you know, feel at least a little bit more complete about that he got justice. So let me know anything I can help. I'm gonna share this, and any way I can help, I'm there for you guys, and my heart goes out to you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
All right, please tell stepmom when because I know she has a bad reception, that, you know, just please share that with her also, that
I will.
I'm giving y'all a hug from here, and I love y'all from here. I know that we strangers, but I love y'all, and I'm sorry this happened to you guys. All right.
Thank you.
Jamal, Tasha's back on.
Sorry, y'all. It's just sorry. The connection suck. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Tasha, just to ask you, same thing I asked Kiera. If Quantez was here right now, what would you say to him?
I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. And we're gonna be okay. And we got this.
And what do you want? What do you want to see done to the individuals that did this horrific crime?
I want them crackers to pay. All of them, from the people who came to pick them up, from the people that took them to jail, from the people who answered the phone calls, from their snide remarks, all of them. I want them to pay. I want them under the jail. Why did they get to spend their life in prison? They could still talk and see their people now.
Got it. All right. I know that I've read that the family may be talking to Benjamin Crump.
He is the attorney for the.
So I'm sure.
Yes. Yes.
I'm sure that we're getting more news about this, more national news. Roland Martin wants to talk to you guys. So hopefully we could just create inertia and get this story out. Until then, I'm here for you guys wherever I can be. I'm sorry this happened again, and my heart goes out.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Mom.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. Bye-bye.